Welcome back. We are going to be reading Moving into the Middle by Thomas Richard. Looks like that with that little dude who can barely reach his locker. I'm pretty sure he's not in middle school. This essay's purpose and structure is compare and contrast. Remember when I ask you to compare and contrast something, it is both. You need to compare, which is same, contrast, which is difference. A lot of times when we compare and contrast, we're stuck on the compare part. So make sure in this structure you realize that there's both, and if you are writing that type of structured essay, you're doing both as well. We need to know how they're alike and how they're different. And this one is relevant to you because you recently experienced moving into middle school. You think 5th and 6th grade, same, we're in the same school. Well, it's actually not. It's pretty different as you learned last year. So this essay is just that, because every kid goes through that, whether it's 5th grade is their middle school, or sometimes middle schools are just 7th and 8th grade. Eventually everyone moves into middle school, and it is a different transition than originally you probably think it will be. It's a lot harder, as some of you experienced. Some of you took it really easily, but now you're pros in middle school, getting ready to transition to high school. So here we go. Moving into the Middle by Thomas Richard. Students going to middle school for the first time are sometimes terrified of the transition. That fear comes from the fact that they don't know what to expect. Of course, there are differences between elementary school and middle school. However, there are similarities as well. So in that first paragraph, the author is telling us that this is compare and contrast. He very specifically said there are differences, and however, there are similarities. So we know without reading the rest of the essay that this is compare and contrast because the author already told us. Middle and elementary schools have many similarities. For example, students in both schools have the same school calendar. In addition, the school day is the same length. Furthermore, the students in middle and elementary schools study the 4 core subjects: math, science, language arts, and social studies. Students can also expect to have homework, quizzes, tests, and projects to complete. Middle and elementary schools have a lot in common. There are also some differences between middle and elementary schools. First, students in middle school travel to different classes during the school day. A bell rings to alert students when it's time to move to a different class. Second, students usually have a hallway locker to store their books and supplies. A third difference is that students in middle school usually have extra classes such as foreign language class. These differences make middle school different from elementary school. Although middle school is different from elementary school, not everything is different. Some aspects of middle school will seem familiar to new students. Knowing what to expect is helpful and should make students feel less nervous about their new school. So that one was really simple, and it only needed 4 paragraphs. The introduction, similarities, differences, and then the conclusion. So this one was pretty simple. It picked a pretty, I don't want to say easy subject, but obvious subject to compare and contrast. Now you could get into a very difficult subject to compare and contrast and have pages and pages and pages showing the similarities and differences. This took something really simple and laid it out pretty simply as well. Now you could come up with more differences and similarities and make this a lot longer of an essay, but this one was again just to show the structure, not teach you something new, because you experienced this, so you already know. So hopefully you picked up on that structure really easily. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.